Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Museum Moments. My name is Molly Dubin, and I am the curator for the Jewish Museum Milwaukee. And today we thought it would be fitting to talk about Shabbat. The primary reason being it's a time of rest. It's a time of unplugging. It's a time of shutting out the noise, of focusing on meditation, centering yourself, maybe going outdoors, maybe, being with loved ones, cooking a good meal, participating in charity and tzedakah in some way, and tikkun olam and repair of the world. So many ways that we celebrate Shabbat, or a time of rest. It's also referred to as the seventh day. Of course, in Judaism and Jewish tradition, Shabbat is a tenet or a pillar of Jewish belief. And it, of course, speaks to the biblical story of the creation of the world, Genesis. God created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. And on the seventh day, he rested. She rested. Um, so it's got very deep roots, but it also is observed in a number of ways, in traditional ways, which have to do with observing sundown Friday to sundown Saturday, with the idea of ushering in the Sabbath with a meal that has some staples involving wine and challah and Shabbat candles, light and illumination. But also more contemporary ways. We're a very busy world. We're very much tied to technology, on social media all the time, being bombarded by news and television, and in particularly right at this very moment, which is one of the reasons we thought we could all take a break. So, while you are someone who wants to go outside and in nature, put on some headphones and listen to some classical music, just unplug, literally or metaphorically, however you do it, just to take some time. And to do that, we thought we would take a little bit of a look back at an exhibit that we did a couple of years ago, focusing on Shabbat, the seventh day. So with that, I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to pull up a PowerPoint with some images. So we're going to go to a slideshow and start from the beginning. So there, of course, many of us recognize what would be some of the primary components of a Shabbat table: our wine, our candlelight, our braided challah, food, family, friends, a time for us all to get together. So here we have this, wonderful, just kind of illuminated scene that is inviting on many levels. So in our exhibit that we looked at different artists. This was an exhibit that we were able to bring from New York, from a collegial institution. And the idea was to tap different artists and have them really show what their idea of Shabbat was, or, what the physical incarnation of Shabbat might be, or, what their means of observance are. So here we have a very traditional Shabbat setting, Shabbat image. This is a painting that actually is on a tray. It's a wooden tray, and the artist is Malka Zeldis, and this is actually called Shabbat Confined to the Bed, Shabbat tray. And the reason I think, aside from this being a very recognizable scene for so many, you have families sitting around a table. We have challah. We have, friends, maybe strangers being welcomed in, all of this going on. But the idea that this is a bed tray, when we talk about some of the major components, or what is at the essence of Shabbat, it's very much aligned with charity, tzedakah, doing for others, which can come in many forms. So if you happen to be an individual that maybe is unable to go to synagogue or your place of worship, or to go to a friend or family's home for dinner, this is a tray that could be brought to someone, and it has the wonderful scene of Shabbat to get you into the feel, and of course can be utilized to hold any of the food that might be brought to provide a Shabbat meal. Candlesticks, light, illumination, a big part of Shabbat. A big part of a time of rest for many cultures and religions, and a dedicated time of rest during the week, maybe several times during the day, is something that it really is observed universally in different cultures and religions. But there's some of the main, similarities which involve this idea of illumination, both mentally being illuminated and being able to take time for oneself, turn inward, possibly be more reflective, but also literally illuminating the space around us, bringing warmth to the space. This is a great set of candlesticks, and this is by an artist named Harriet Estelle Berman, and this is actually called In Your Light, I See Light. And one of the reasons I think these set of candlesticks is so fantastic is they're made out of recycled materials. And Estelle is someone who very much looks at environmental issues. She's used recycled cans. She uses her work as kind of a commentary about environmental issues and being more green, using more sustainable products, reusing, repurposing. And of course, again, the idea of tikkun olam, sustaining life in the environment, repairing the world, but sustaining life in the environment, is very much at the core of what is the essence of Shabbat. The bread, the challah, what a wonderfully enticing shot. So challah, a main component on the Shabbat table. This is a shot by an artist, a photographer, Hedy Abramovitz. This is actually at Neiman's Bakery in the Jewish Quarter in New York. And we can see what is a recognizable visual of challah, which is the idea of braiding together strands of dough. And here's an example of that. And one of the other reasons I think this is so visually compelling and metaphorically compelling is the idea of bringing people together, of bringing different thoughts together, of weaving in time for being reflective, being able to rejuvenate, to rest. And there are, many possibilities, as we said, for that. And so here, literally the idea of weaving together, and the process of this is also supposed to help us get into the mindset, to break from the work week, the hectic, to getting into that mentality of repose, and understanding that Shabbat is really about stepping outside of time, and creating a special time and space. So one of the other artists whose work we showed is Grace Graupe-Pollard, and this is just a fantastic piece. This is called Plates of Light, and for those of you who may have had a chance to see it, it was extremely large scale, and that is very intentional, as is the fact that this is a silhouette. You can't see it here, but this is made from pastel. So Grace tends to focus her work a lot on the idea of making the unseen seen, making the invisible visible. So whether that's someone who is homeless, or the everyday working individual, people that you might not necessarily focus on, but you know are crucial to society, and we all deserve to be seen. So the size really speaks to making the those that are invisible or unseen or ignored or passed over monumental in size, heroic. The idea of the silhouette, the position here, this individual with an outstretched hand, possibly asking for help. Also, kneeling could be meditative. But again, we see the candles in play, the light, the birds. There are many, thoughts on interpretation for that, but certainly being able to kind of escape again the weak, hectic, all the things that burden us, and being able to kind of fly away from that and to get again into that Shabbat mentality, that restful mentality. So literally, here we have someone showing us the idea of meditation. This is actually called meditation by a photographer artist by the name of Matsun from the Invisible Thread series. I thought this was particularly fitting. This happens to be an individual who obviously is someone who works in the healthcare field. You can tell by their scrubs. And in terms of everything that we've been going through as a society, our frontline workers who are helping our heroes, and it's important for them, in order to continue to help bring that tzedakah, help repair, for them to take time to re-center themselves, to rest, to reflect. So I thought this was a nice image to share. This is an image many of you may be familiar with, or at least the artist. This is Judy Chicago. And this is a piece called Rainbow Shabbat. And this is great for a number of reasons. The story behind this is actually Judy wanted to create a piece that was symbolic of a very memorable Shabbat dinner she had at a friend's home, where there were a number of different individuals, different ages, from different cultures, different beliefs, all sitting around a table together. You can see they all have arms around one another. They're connecting to one another. They're all facing towards the woman at the right, who is the individual who is ushering in the Sabbath. But this is also originally was done as a stained glass piece. So the idea of, again, illumination, light coming through, creating optimism, creating hope as we come together. Also, the memory of this evening is that it created incredible dialogue for people of differing opinions to share ideas and feel that they were in a safe place doing so. So all of these things, really very much about where we are, and needing to be able to step back and again recenter ourselves. So I mentioned earlier, we thought it was particularly fitting to do this right now, this week in particular, where we are right now. A lot of uncertainties, a lot of stress, constant bombardment. So that idea of disconnecting from technology, whether that's turning off the TV, turning off the car radio, avoiding social media, not being bombarded. This is a really good time to do that. I think that's a good suggestion for everyone. So again, getting away from all that hecticness and being bombarded. So this is the last piece I wanted to share with you. This is a piece called Sanctuary, and it's by an artist by the name of Deborah Ugoritz. And Deborah, while she doesn't live here now, is originally from Milwaukee, from Wisconsin. And I just thought it was a very fitting piece. It's just so universally resonant. This is a paper cut. The title in itself, Sanctuary, speaks to the idea that we all need kind of a safe haven, a place to go. So here you have in the middle of this piece, this small, white, pristine area. If you can see it, it has kind of lattice lines, almost reflective of what you would see in a cathedral or a place of worship. And it's surrounded by these swirling black lines and, shredded bits of paper that, have been strewn together and are hanging from, the lower level of the piece. So representing the chaos of the week. And in the middle of this chaos is the sanctuary that is Shabbat. And we could all use a little bit of sanctuary right now. So I'm going to encourage us all to heed this lovely image, living the Sabbath rest, in whatever way you want to observe that. And even though it is not Shabbat, we're a day away, this is a concept we can all very much use right now. So with that, I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a restful, relaxing, centered rest of the day and your week. And I want to thank Robin Cohn, who sponsors our museum moments and enables us to continue to offer these type of edifying snippets. So with that, thank you so much. And we will look forward to seeing you either at the museum or on the screen for a program or outdoors in nature, rejuvenating, reconnecting, recentering. Thanks so much. Have a great day.